Okay, it's working. Pursuant to the Open Public Meetings Act, Chapter 231, Public Laws of 1975, this meeting notice was sent to the Asbury Park Press on July 1st, 2022, and has been duly advertised in the Asbury Park issue of July 7th, 2022. All of the municipal clerks of the townships and the boroughs within the Freehold Regional District have been duly notified, and the requirements of this posting has been met on July 1, 2022. Please rise for the pledge.
Allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Mr. Toscano, any changes to the executive agenda?
Yes, Mr. President. The following changes were noted to the agenda that was pre-printed prior to the meeting. For exception number 3, the board also discussed student discipline matters in addition to the harassment, intimidation, and bullying report. For exception number 7, the board discussed special education and ADA issues, and the board also discussed potential litigation over construction projects. And finally, for number 7, the board also discussed the settlement agreement for docket number 2002-34238. Excuse me, I read my handwriting.
Is that all, Mr. Toscano?
Yeah, that's all, Mr. President.
Okay. No, I just didn't want to miss anything. May I have a motion to approve the minutes of June 30th, 2022 regular meeting?
Motion. Second.
Ms. Higley?
Any discussion? Hearing no discussion? Roll call?
Yes.
Mrs. Higley?
Yes.
Mrs. Lavin?
Abstain.
Mr. Messenger?
Yes.
Mr. Moses?
Yes.
Mrs. Spinelli?
Yes.
Mrs. Bruno? Mr. Parisi?
Yes.
Mr. Bruno?
Yes.
We have a little
Just
correction.
1 second. It's okay. We didn't announce it yet. Go ahead. Did you want to change? So we have an abstention.
Mrs. Spinelli?
Mrs. Spinelli is also abstention.
And Mrs. Lavin, too.
Yes, so Mrs. Lavin and Ms. Spinelli. Okay.
Communications
Yes.
are on file with the board secretary. And now we're going to have our superintendent's report.
Thank you, Mr. Bruno. So we'll be brief this evening. Just a couple things to update the community on and the board. All of our summer programs are off and running amazingly well. You know, we were able to work through the paving project at Colts Neck High School through the referendum funding while also opening ESY, original credit, credit recovery, AP Bridge, Algebra 1 Bridge, all there. Dr. Donahue loves this time of year at Colts Neck. But, I think it's important to note that, throughout most of, all of July and a part of August, we have hundreds of students in our buildings. We offer original credit. I think that our offerings are varied and extensive and different from most areas here. We offer a credit recovery, which most districts have moved off of, and gives students another chance. Our AP Summer Bridge program, which is now over a decade. We've had thousands of students come through that program. We've got 165 registered this summer for that week-long program that we think is really beneficial to students looking to take their first, honors or AP course. And this year we're running an Algebra 1 Bridge program that supports students in Algebra 1, which still gives me shivers from my own high school experience. But tremendous support over the summer for our students and for students that want to, push themselves and move forward. And our extended school year program for our special needs students is off and running. Somewhere around 130 plus students enrolled in that program as well. So really proud of what we do in the summer for kids at the Freehold Regional High School District. A couple other just quick construction updates. The referendum is alive and at work very, very well across the district. Most of the paving is already done at Colts Neck. A large chunk of the paving is done at Howell High School, and if you remember, four of our schools are having paving completed this summer, and 2 into the summer and fall, we'll have the chunks of the roof replacement. And so Manalapan, if you've driven by Manalapan High School recently, you see all the piping that's out in front of the high school as we get ready to engage in that paving project, and Borough is shortly to follow thereafter. Freehold Township is on pace to have that roofing done by end of August. Feel good about that timeline. Mr. Boyce and I met this morning to go through all of that work. The only delay in any of the referendum projects was around the Marlboro roof, and it's purely just a supply chain issue at this point in time. We're waiting for some of those materials to come in. We have a plan to work around those roof repairs once the school year begins. We've communicated that with Dr. Bleakley, and so feel very good about where we are there. All of our the security upgrades to all of our doors will be completed prior to the start of the school year, and we're also finalizing a number of the exterior doors that we're repairing that Mr. Messinger reported out on at last board meeting at the Finance Committee update. And we're looking forward to just having a wonderful summer with students, hopping through our hallways and really, it's wonderful to be able to move through those summer programs like we always have.
Numbers are high.
No, yeah, numbers are consistent with what they've always been. Yep.
Well, you know what? You have to really thank the people for the referendum passing because, driving through today, I actually took a picture of Howell because it was like halfway done. Now it's like, looks like 3/4 done. But really, to thank the people passing that referendum was the key. Well, we would have those crazy, awful parking lots. So
Made a huge difference.
yeah.
Significant.
Okay.
Can I ask a question?
Yes.
Since we were on the subject of summer programs, I had a question. Obviously, during the school year, when students and guidance counselors are in the building and administration's in the building, there's a process for handling student welfare issues. So could you fill us in on, over the summer, what's the staffing situation and the process for student welfare issues when, maybe not every guidance counselor is working every single day? How does that work during the off-season, so to speak?
Yeah, that's a good question. The off-season, as you phrase it, is always the most difficult time, whether that's a weekend or a holiday break or any time where schools are closed. And, one of the things that I think the public learned firsthand is that when schools are closed, all of these things that come to our attention in our hallways that we see and feel and hear and are reported to us allow us to intervene to help students, right? And when you take that away, you take away an entire, support infrastructure for kids. Our summer, the way we're structured over the summer, there's always, every building is covered every single day of the summer with administrators. We do have guidance counselors on staff. We have CST members on staff. Nursing is on staff. And it's like anything else. If something is brought to our attention and we're aware of it, those folks will respond in the moment. If something happens during the day, usually the administrator in charge of the high school would be the one who would intervene directly. And there have been times, I can tell you, over the years where we were made aware of a situation and brought folks in over the summer to work with students and to meet their needs. And so, our goal, and one of the things that we sit through, especially in our June leadership meeting, is making sure that we have a clear outline of who is in what building when throughout the course of the summer, so that we're always ready to be responsive to not just student needs, but community needs and things of the such. So it goes without saying, though, that if something happens in a child's home and it's not reported to us, it's hard for us. That's where our locus of control is lost a little bit. And I'm going to make the plug again about why we should never go back to remote learning, is that the things that happen in our hallways on a day-to-day basis, we're able to intervene in really good and effective ways for children. But I do feel it's a point of emphasis in this district to make sure that each one of our high schools. The summer isn't a time to just kind of check out, and there's an awful lot of work that's happening here, and there are folks in each of the 6 high schools ready, able, and willing to assist any student in need.
Thank you.
Now,
We're going to go along. All right. No public participation tonight? No board reports either? So
Mr.
we're just gonna
Bruno.
Skip that. No board reports?
Come on, break the record.
I don't know, Mr. Moses.
Break the
It was like a crazy record to try to break. We're going to try it. Okay, no public participation. Okay, we're going to go into personnel. Mr. Parisi.
Mr. Bruno, if I could,
Take
can
it on
I,
record.
can I share something that I
Sure.
wanted to as part of, I guess, board reports?
Mm-hmm.
All right, thank you. With your permission, I'd like to read something on behalf of the board.
Okay.
Speaking on behalf of the board, we would be remiss if we did not take a moment to recognize a recent award received by our superintendent, Dr. Sampson. In May, the New Jersey Association of School Administrators presented Dr. Sampson with a Distinguished Service Award at its annual Spring Leadership Conference. Each year, the association honors members for their outstanding service to education and for their dynamic leadership and their service to our students here in New Jersey. The Distinguished Service Award is the highest honor conferred upon association members. Dr. Sampson previously received the association's Regional Superintendent of the Year Award in 2018. He was also named the Monmouth County Superintendent of the Year in 2017. Dr. Sampson's career began in Essex County as a social studies instructor at Livingston High School. He then went on to work in a variety of administrative capacities and was the superintendent in Verona prior to coming to our district. Under his exceptional leadership, our district was named one of America's best in-state employers in 2019 by Forbes magazine. He has served as president of the Garden State Coalition of Schools, a network of approximately 100 high-performing New Jersey high school districts dedicated to quality education for all. He currently serves as the president of the Monmouth County Superintendents Roundtable. In addition to running our school district with over 10,000 students and being active in a variety of organizations, Dr. Sampson is a dedicated husband and father who makes time for his children and participates in their activities as well. The board congratulates Dr. Sampson on receiving the Distinguished Service Award and for his exceptional leadership of the Freehold Regional High School District. You're welcome. And I'll add one other thing, and I know that Chuck's a humble guy, and I'm looking at all of his executive leadership here, you know, Dr. Hazel, many of you in the audience, Sean. He couldn't do this without you guys. So I guess in many ways, his accomplishments are your accomplishments as well. So thank you to everybody.
Yep.
Okay, not having any public participation tonight, may I have a motion to approve? Oh, we have something to change?
Yes.
Okay.
so the agenda, as posted earlier this week, there is an addendum. It's available on the back table. So are additional names for 2 existing resolutions, both G1, which is approval of resignations, and G2, which is approval of retirements. In addition to that, we'd like to add the following 2 resolutions to the agenda. J6, motion to approve the settlement agreement for matter number 2022-0004, and J7, motion to approve the settlement agreement in agency reference number 2022-34238. So with those changes, Mr. Bruno.
Okay, now I'm going to do personnel and negotiations, G1 through G9. May I have a motion?
Second.
Capiello,
Ms. Higley.
Mrs. Lavin, second. Any discussion? That was Mrs. Higley? Okay,
We're in focus.
trying to give you a little recognition
We're-
there. Okay, all right, next time, Mrs. Lavin. All right, you got to be quicker. All right, any discussion? Not hearing any discussion, roll call, please.
Mrs. Capiello? Mrs. Higley?
Yes.
Mrs. Higley?
Yes.
Wait, just one second.
Oh, wait, is this?
Yes, yes. This is-
Which is
Yep.
ones that
This is
was-
G1 to G9.
Okay, I abstain on G3 to Dennis Philippone and G5 to Alicia Celso.
Thank you, Mrs. Lavin.
Yes.
Mr. Messenger?
Yes.
Mr. Moses? Yes. Mrs. Spinelli? Yes. Mrs. Bruno? Yes. Mr. Parisi?
Yes.
Mr. Bruno?
Yes.
Motion's carried.
Okay, now we're going to take program operations, building, transportation, and physical plant. That's H1 through I1. And I need a motion.
Moved.
Mr. Parisi. I need a second.
Second.
Mrs. Capiello. Any discussion? Not hearing any discussion, do I have a roll call? Okay.
Mrs. Capiello?
Yes.
Mrs. Higley?
Yes, except abstain J1.
We're not there yet. That's the
Oh.
next one.
H and I.
This is H and I.
All right, sorry.
Mrs. Lavin?
Yes.
Mr. Messenger?
Yes.
Mr. Moses? Yes. Mrs. Spinelli? Mrs. Bruno?
Yes.
Mr. Parisi?
Yes.
Mr. Bruno?
Yes. Okay, now we're going to educational programs and administration, J1 through K4. May I have a motion?
Second.
Any discussion? No discussion? Roll call, please.
Mrs. Capiello?
Yes on everything except K2. I abstain from Dr. Sampson.
Mrs. Higley?
Yes, except on J1, I abstain on Howe High School, Freehold Township High School, and K2 to Mr. Boyce and Dr. Sampson.
Mrs. Lavin?
Yes.
Mr. Moses?
Yes.
Mr. Messenger?
Yes.
Mrs. Spinelli? Yes. Mrs. Bruno?
Yes.
Mr. Parisi?
Yes.
Mr. Bruno?
Yes. Okay. Okay. Moving right along here, any old business? Any new business?
I have new business, Mr.
Okay.
Bruno.
Yes, you
Thank
do.
So I just want to recognize a few folks in the audience. Dennis Philippone is here, and I've never had an administrative approval where the administrator was greeting folks at the door. So that's a first for me. So Dennis comes to us after ending his career as the superintendent in the Brick Public Schools, but a longtime high school principal with an absolutely stellar reputation in across this area. And I can't tell you how many folks, when they heard that he was going to come and do an interim at Freehold Township for us, texted me saying, that's great, this is awesome, can't wait to work with them. And so Dennis, welcome. He'll be here with us at least into October. And so we're approving Dennis, so I just want to welcome Dennis this evening. And I also want to welcome Victoria Van Sant, who is being named the English supervisor, academic supervisor at the Manalapan Public Schools. And Victoria is currently does all of our new teacher induction program, does a lot of work for us across the district, has some terrific leadership experience, and we know that Victoria is going to make an awesome impact on Manalapan. So I just want to welcome these two folks to the organization.
I'd like to just say something, if I can, about Linda Scanlon, who's retiring as a principal. She was amazing to work with as the head, and she's going to be a tough position to fill as the head of transportation, but she was always there. She was great to work with, and she's going to retire. Fortunately for us, it's in December, so she'll get the school year started. But I just wanted to offer her congratulations for all of her hard work for the district.
Thank you. Thank you. Anybody else? Okay. Not hearing any discussion or anything else, the meeting's adjourned.
Hey.
You can't cheat Mr. Moses out of his
I've been
motion.
under so much pressure the last year and a half to break this stupid record that Mr. Moses has. It's like 10 minutes, it's like a 10-minute meeting, so it's over. We
It
lost
was
already.
14, right, Mr. Moses?
14 minutes.
14 minutes.
Ain't happening.
Go for it.
Okay. Can I have a motion?
Motion.
Second.
I hear, I know the first one's from Mr. Moses.
You do have a second, Ms. Higley. You have it.
Okay, meeting's adjourned.
All in favor?
All in favor?
Aye.